Good morning, everyone. Today is August the 25th. It is a Thursday. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball report for the Benzinga Pro platform. As we take a look at the charts today, we are in a pattern that just came in. We had the GDP still negative, but not negative as expected. We have our second estimate of deflation in the GDP, if you run that number, and that number is also a little bit weaker, more of an expansion of overall inflation spaces. Initial claims are down to the tune of about 10,000, it looks like. Continuing claims also down to the tune of about 20,000. We have nat gas inventories coming in later today, and a few other things like the big Jackson Hole event. We should hear from Jerome Powell tomorrow. Today could be very choppy. As I mentioned inside of our notes already, we could have a fairly sideways day after this current move. So we might just be holding it. We can see from the charts what the traders are really trying to do is hold the floor for the week. And that is going to be the order of the day. Can we hold the bottom? All right, my suspicion is that any more upward moves that continue, and I do think we have some upward moves, they could be, again, choppy. So we do not want to buy breakouts. We want to buy the pullbacks that hold support. But the big thing for us to see is could portfolio managers again be caught flat-footed? I heard from a report that Goldman Sachs did that in the first 3 weeks of this run, right, when we started turning around here, in the first 3 weeks of motion, none of the new positions short had covered. So the last 3 weeks of this run really pointed to the notion that we essentially had a 6-week squeeze before price action has begun to turn. And the question is it going to hold here on such a shallow dip and follow the big trend for more squeezing? It feels like folks turned around and went short very quickly off of the 50 on the weekly. It's actually the 200 on the daily. And so they're pushing that back in. But if price lifts, it's going to squeeze them again. So these are very interesting times for big players who can't run as quickly as you or I can with our size of accounts. And so when you're running billions of dollars, you can't just flood them into the market. It becomes much more difficult, and we really have a lot more control. So the thought process is to determine whether this short off of the 200 that everybody said, okay, I'm going to pile in. For us, this is the 50 off the weekly, but the 200 was somewhere around here. Are they going to expect another fade deeper? I think they are, because the macro voices are so loud that they're really putting folks in front of this move. And so I suspect there'll be a squeeze and then a fade and then a squeeze and then a fade in some very jagged markets. Do we have proper direction? Well, again, look, up on the weekly, down on the daily. We've got significant pulling away from these moving averages here on the daily. So we could have a little reversion to the mean bounce, but that's down, that's up. This is up on the 4-hour. We're dancing on it again. Could we hold the region and lift? What's the big level for the day? Can we get up and stay up over 415.46 in SPY? Write that number down. That's going to be key. If we lose the high of the prior day, which is this number right here, we're going to fall right back into the gapping area and the range of yesterday, which seems fairly reasonable to me, because we really are not going to get any specific news out of Jackson Hole until tomorrow. I mean, people are going to be there doing interviews and the like, but it's just going to be so noisy. You really, really want to be careful. All right? See you on the platform.